Okay, today we are playing a game on Hanamura, we are playing Zenyatta on defense, and we are playing Lucio on attack. And I don't know the exact SR of this game, but we look pretty squarely in the mid-silver range based on the emblems everybody has. So let's look at our team. We've got 2-2-2, as you would expect. Can't draw a line under anyone except the offense, obviously, one day. So we don't have a Reinhardt, which is a little bit sad. Usually I say having a Reinhardt doesn't matter too much in this kind of SR range because your team doesn't play around Reinhardt very well. However, on the 2 CP maps, Reinhardt is really, really important because it's hard to hold the choke point without a Reinhardt, and it's hard to push through the choke point without a Reinhardt. So that's a bit unfortunate. We got Zarya, who's like the closest you can get to a main tank besides Reinhardt, but it's not really the same thing. We've got D.Va, who is also fine, though I would prefer if she was Reinhardt, We've got Symmetra. Symmetra is very good on the 2 CP maps. Soldier, one of the best offense in the entire game right now. Lucio, one of the best supports in the entire game. And we're Zenyatta. So it's all fine, save for the fact we don't have a Reinhardt. So let's start the game and skip past all the prep time, a little bit further forward. There we go. We're bonding with the enemy team. Good stuff. Now, because we don't have a Reinhardt, we should not be standing this far up. This is like we would typically be standing somewhere around here, but we would also typically have a Reinhardt to stand behind because he would be standing, in the choke point. We'd have the barrier here and we'd be firing out of the choke point. However, we don't have a Reinhardt, so we're standing too far up because now we're standing, in the middle of the choke point, and we're playing Zenyatta. Zenyatta is one of the easiest heroes to kill in the entire game, because his hitbox is like a floating cube. He's slow, he's got no defensive abilities, save for just killing the person that's trying to kill him. So, we're standing too far up right now. We've got, 2 options for where we could stand. Well, I guess we got, 3. We could stand up here on, the high ground over there, but we wouldn't be able to see, around this corner, so it's not great if the enemy is, poking around the corner. We could stand over in, near the bell on the point and just fire into people as they come across the choke point, which is fine in most cases as Zenyatta. We're a very long-range hero, we can do that. Or we could be standing near the staircase coming up to the choke point, but, near the building behind us. It's a little bit hard to illustrate because, we're not facing that way. But there's the building behind us. We could stand below the ledge in the rock garden near the corner and fire out. And then we'd see all the way over here as well. But we'd have the cover of the building and the ledge to protect us a little bit more, and we could fall back more safely. Where we're standing right now, not great. Also, then we go outside of the choke point at one point, right here. And there's 2 things right here. First off, try not to ever go outside of the choke point ever. This whole area out here, this is no man's land. We don't want to be out in this area ever if we're defending. Because why would we ever want to leave the choke point? The choke point is nice and safe. Another thing, we're trying to use the right click, Zenyatta's right click to kill this person over here. There's not really, we could just be left-clicking into this person, because here's the thing with the right-click, is Zenyatta just holding down left-click is higher DPS, the right-click is higher burst damage if it's charged up, but the best use for the right-click is you're trying to kill a turret around a corner, or a sniper, so you charge it up around a corner, poke out, fire it at it, or you're tracking someone around this wall, a bigger wall than this. You're tracking them through a wall with Discord, and you want to just nail them with it as they come around the corner. That's not what we're really doing here. We just kind of walk out of the choke point, channeling right-click. We could just be left-clicking into this person as well. But we don't want to be going out of the choke point in general either. So, D.Va's come over the top. That's really bad. We don't really know what to do. As long as we've got we're walking towards the D.Va. We don't need to do that. As long as we got Discord on D.Va, we've basically done our job. There's this. I've noticed Zenyatta players do this a lot, where they start walking towards the person they're firing at. You don't need to do that because a lot of the time you're just putting yourself more in danger. in this case, it's not so bad because, like, our entire team is coming over here, so that means the choke point is getting more scary. But, like, you don't need to move closer to the person you're trying to kill as Zenyatta. You can be, like, as far away as possible because you don't have any fall-off damage. So that's just, like, try not to walk towards people you're firing at when you're playing Zenyatta. Again, we're using the right-click. We don't need to be using the right-click right now. It could just be left-clicking into these people. Be careful of what you did right there, because, like, the thing with Zenyatta's orbs is it cancels your reload. So, like, we start reloading, then we put Harmony Orb on, then we put Discord on, and we cancel our reload twice. You have to be careful about when you're, like, not canceling your reload over and over and over again. Because I've seen Zenyatta's, like, move the Discord orb across, like, 4 people and, like, cancel their reload every single time. So be careful about that. Like, you don't want to be canceling your reload too much. Now, we've come over here. We've moved Discord. We don't really want to put the Discord on Tracer in this circumstance because we want, like, this is Reinhardt's shield breaks. And so we want Reinhardt dead. We turn around here. We put it on Tracer. There's this thing with Zenyatta players often fall in this trap where I think what happens is people are like, Discord is my ability, it's my damage boost, so I'm going to put it on the person I'm firing at. But, like, the best thing you can usually do is just put Discord on the highest priority target and leave it there for your team to focus them down. And, like, yeah, Tracer is usually pretty good to put it on, but, like, if this Reinhardt dies, they are not doing anything for the next, like, 15 seconds while he's respawning. This Tracer, yeah, like, we want to, and, like, then she blinks away, so the Discord doesn't even stay on it. Well, she recalls away, not blinks away. Like, you want to put the Discord on the highest priority target and just leave it there for your team to focus them down. And in that case, Reinhardt was a higher priority target than Tracer was. Because Tracer wasn't really doing anything yet. And, like, Lucio was coming over to help us. It was going to be really unlikely for Tracer to get anything done. But if we leave the Discord on Reinhardt when his shield's broken, Reinhardt has a pretty good chance of dying in that case. So be careful about moving Discord off of priority targets. In this case, I don't think we really need to put it on the Lucio. Reaper is a much higher threat to us than the Lucio, like, because this is a Reaper and this is a Lucio. Yet we want to kill the Lucio, but we also don't want to die to Reaper. And, like, so we want to keep it on the Reaper so that we can actually, like, kill him before he gets any work done. Because, like, Reaper starts walking towards us. Ooh, that's really fucking scary. Reaper can, like, practically one-shot us. Again, using the right-click on this Reinhardt when we could have just been left-clicking into him and we would have done more DPS. Like, we didn't need to try and right-click him down. So now they have a Torbjorn. We're again getting too close. Like, again, we still don't have a Reinhardt, so we don't really want to be standing, like, in the middle of the choke point because we don't have a Reinhardt to stand behind. We are, for the most part, staying next to D.Va, which is something, but, like, this is still really scary to stand this far up as Zenyatta without a Reinhardt to protect us. So, now, we haven't got our Harmony Orb up right now. And our Discord has just gotten returned. When you're playing Zenyatta, you gotta be really careful, because you want to have both your orbs up at all points in time. You want to minimize time your orbs are not up. So, just be mindful of, like, Harmony Orb and Discord Orb falling off of people. Try to put it on somebody. Like, it's better on somebody than on nobody. And now, we got shot a few times, and we died. And that's just, like, we're standing too far up still. Like, Lucio vastly overextends and dies, and now their team is coming in. Like, we peek around the corner, and we're like, oh, fuck. It's, like, their entire team coming around the corner behind a Reinhardt barrier. We don't have a Reinhardt. They shoot us, and we die. Standing too far up. Like, we want to stay as far away from the enemy team as possible. There's, like, a few points during this game where we're, like, the front line. We're on the front line as Zenyatta. We don't want to do that. When you're playing a support, you want to be as far away as possible while still being effective, because for, like, a few reasons. You want to be able to, like, see your entire team so that you can see who needs support and, like, who you should be trying to help. And you can you can tell, like, you get more of a feel from the fight. You can tell if, like, flankers are coming around and you have a better view of, like, what's happening the further back you are to, like, get a better feel for, like, how things are going. And also, the other thing is, staying alive as a support is really important. like, not dying is important for everyone, obviously, but for his support, we really, really have to be careful, because if we die as a support, that's like a death sentence for the rest of our team, because they're just going to slowly get chipped down and die. They're going to lose their HP. They're not going to have people there to heal them. They're going to die because we died. So we got to be really, really careful when we're playing a support to not die. And the easiest way to do that is just stand further back. When you're playing Zenyatta, you can stand really, really far away. As long as you can put your orbs on people, as long as you're in range to do that, you are inside your effective range, because your weapon has no fall off. So, like, just stand as far away as you can while still being able to, like, put orbs on people. Alright, so we've got a Symmetra. We're coming back. So we got the teleporter facing the wrong way. We got a little confused for a second. We've almost got Transcendence, which is good. Small thing here when we come out. Well, not a small thing. We see this Lucio over here. This Lucio, he is in critical HP. We got to put a Harmony Orb on him as quickly as possible, because we don't want our other support to die. He was going to die regardless, but, like, if you see a support at low HP, or, like, if you see anybody in critical HP, like, you got to put that orb on them as quickly as possible, because you don't want them to die, especially if it's another support or the tank. And now, we don't really need to be as close as we're standing right now. Like, this is a Reaper, and this Reaper is really, really close to us. We don't need to be standing on the point right now, because our teammates are standing on the point. We can be standing, like, further back. We can be, like, outside the doorway on, well, not this doorway, but, like, the doorway on the opposite side. We can be standing out there, just, like, looking into the room, like, putting orbs on people and firing in, and we'd be just as effective as we are being right now, but we'd be infinitely safer than we are right now. And we also really, really don't want to die now, because we almost have Transcendence, and that could be very important in the near future, since this is a bit of a staggered fight that we're having right now. So they're setting up a Torbjorn. Again, we're trying to right-click people. We don't need to be right-clicking. We can be, like, again, we're channeling the right-click. We don't need to be channeling the right-click. And, like, we're really lucky we don't die there. Because, again, we're standing really, like, very close to the enemy team right now. And we're at, like, 56 hit points. And this is a Tracer, but she, like, didn't notice. So we're really lucky to be alive. I don't know why we use Transcendence right here. Because this strikes me as an odd time. Because, like, we get hit there, but, like, we're not really in that much threat right now. It seems like we see Zarya graviton, and we ult because she gravitoned. That's not really the greatest thing to do. Like, the thing about Zenyatta's ultimate is that it completely cancels out other people's ultimates. Like, if there's a Death Blossom, Dragon Blade, Tack Visor, you stop those ultimates from killing anybody with Transcendence. That's like the thing with Transcendence, you use it to stop other ultimates from killing your team. Right there, we're not doing that. We seem to use it because of our own Zarya's Graviton, when we could just put Discord on people in the Graviton and, like, shoot into the Graviton. So that's a bit of a wasted Transcendence right there, not great. Reinhardt charges in by himself. We promptly kill him. We're channeling right-click again. We don't need to be channeling the right-click. We don't have our Discord orb on anybody right now, so we need to be looking around for somebody to put it on. Like, now there's nobody here, and, like, Tracer died. Got it on the Torbjorn. Again, we're getting really close. We got 60 hit points. This is more where we should be standing, around this corner, like right here. This is a better position to be standing. And then we go stand back up in the choke point again, which is really, really scary. See, like, we're the most up person on our team right now. There's nobody in front of us. That means we're the front line right now. That is mad scary as Zenyatta to be standing on the front line. Again, using the right-click, we don't need to be using the right-click. We can just be, like, shooting into the shield and be doing more damage to the shield than doing this. Like, yep, just left-click in. That'll do more damage to the shield over time than right-clicking into it. Alright, so now we don't have either of our orbs up on somebody. Like, we don't have either of our orbs up. Like, Discord falls off, like, right there. This diva is, like, wounded. Neither of our orbs are up right now. Put these orbs on someone, dog. Now, we put Discord on someone, but then that person died. Now we're channeling right-click when we don't need to again. Our Harmony Orb has not been on anyone this entire time. there's like a list of priorities when you're playing a support, right? And it's like healing is the top of it. Like healing is your number one concern as a support, and then it's like it's healing and then doing damage, right? Like so like we've got Discord up, which is half of the equation, but like the Harmony Orb is more important because we are playing a healer. Even though we're playing Zenyatta, like we had it on no one for like 10-15 seconds right there. That's really bad. And like we use the right click a lot. You don't need to use the right click is pretty bad in most situations. And now we're standing like in the choke point again while we don't have a Reinhardt, so we get earth shattered. Fortunately, the enemy team can't capitalize on it. We're coming out of the choke point. Oh god, this is really scary. We're going out of the choke point. We don't want to go out of the choke point. We're playing Zenyatta. We're super easy to kill. So we're going off hunting for this Winston right now. Not typically very advisable as Zenyatta because the Winston can kill you, provided he has his bubble and isn't bad. So it's very scary that we're going off to hunt for him. And like, look at that. Like, look, the Bastion doesn't do anything to us, but like, we see a Bastion set up above us, and we walk towards the Bastion as Zenyatta. That's so scary. Don't be walking towards the enemy team when you're playing Zenyatta. You gotta stay alive. You gotta stay far back where they can't kill you, because you're really easy to kill. Alright, so now we're attacking, and we're gonna be playing Lucio. And there's like something I always say when we're playing Lucio, so I'm gonna say it again now. There's 4 things to keep in mind when you're playing Lucio, right? First off, try not to boop someone unless you've got a good reason to boop them. And what I mean by that is a lot of Lucios, like, will go up to someone, they'll, like, left-click someone, like, punch them, or then right-click them away. Like, don't do that, right? Like, try not to right-click someone unless, like, you're pushing them off a cliff, you're peeling for someone, like, you're gonna kill Genji through deflect or something like that, because here's the thing. The right-click only does, like, 25 damage, so it's not exactly a huge amount of damage. But, like, booping someone can mess up your own DPS, right? Because, like, suppose you go into, like, left-click, punch, and then boop someone away. Well, imagine your soldier, for argument's sake, is lining up the Helix rocket on that person, doesn't know that you're coming up on them, then you boop him away and out of his Helix rocket. You trade 25 damage for, like, 120 damage. It's not worth it. Try not to boop someone unless you got a good reason to boop them. Next off is try to wall ride as much as possible for like, because that just makes you harder to kill for like a variety of reasons. For one thing, it makes your hitbox slightly smaller because your legs go up onto the wall. Secondarily, people are just like not accustomed to shooting people who are wall riding, so it just makes you harder to hit for a lot of people. Like they'll have more trouble tracking you, and it just makes you more unpredictable if you're like wall riding as well. Third off is try to jump less. This, like, applies to everyone, but Lucio is particularly prone to this because he's a fast guy. Try to jump less because, like, a lot of Lucio players, they just go around, like, bunny hopping everywhere, like, constantly. The more, if you jump continuously, that makes you more predictable, not less predictable. Because once you jump, you can't change your direction in midair. So if the person is paying attention and, like, sees you jumping a lot, you're actually going to make it easier for them to hit you. I play Soldier and McCree a lot. If I'm trying to kill a Lucio and that person jumps all the time, they get way easier to shoot, because then you just watch for when they jump, and you just follow the arc in the air, and you shoot them, and it's easy. So try to jump less. I'm not saying never jump, but, like, don't continuously jump, because the more times you jump continuously, the more predictable you become. So, like, try to jump less. And then the fourth, and this is the most important thing, we want to have the speed aura on as much as possible. This is, like, we love the speed aura. Lucio's healing without amp it up is only 12.5 per second. For reference, Harmony Orb is 35 per second. And with amp it up, it goes up to 36 per second. Like, his healing without amp it up is really, really fucking bad. All it's good for is, like, healing up chip damage. it's bad for healing. So we want to be in the speed boost as much as possible. The reason that Lucio is like one of the strongest heroes in the game and has remained so in spite of numerous nerfs, like he is the most nerfed hero in Overwatch and he is still one of the strongest, it's because of his speed boost. It's not because of his healing. His speed boost is really, really strong. So we want to be in speed aura as much as possible. Obviously, we want, like, if people are damaged, we want to heal them up, but we still want to be in speed boost as much as possible. If people are, like, severely wounded, then we would need to be healing them up, yeah, but, like, if there's just, like, slight amounts of chip damage, we want to just be in healing mode for as short as possible. As little time in healing as possible, as much time in speed as possible. Because that's why Lucio's strong. So, now, let's start. Now, we amp it up the speed boost out of the gate. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do not amp up the speed boost right out of the gate. This is like the least useful time to speed boost. The ideal time to speed boost is to try and push your way through the choke point. Like, you get up to the choke point, you tell your team, like, I'm going to amp it up when we get to the choke point, and then you amp it up, and then you walk through the choke point with your team. Your Reinhardt holds his shield up, you walk forward with your team really fast, and you blow through the choke point, because the choke point's the hardest point to get through. Obviously, that's why it's the choke point. So, like, one of the reasons Lucio is so strong is you can just run through choke points if your team, like, cooperates with you and you use it properly. So don't speed boost out of the gate. And now it's just like, Amp It Up has a 12-second cooldown. That is a fucking long cooldown. Like, you do not need to use it coming out of the gate. Try to get out of the habit of using it out of the gate. And that includes respawning as well. If you die and respawn, do not amp it up to get back to the fight unless, like, it's overtime and you gotta, like, contest the payload or something like that. If you're just respawning and coming back to the fight, don't amp it up out of the gate like that. You gotta use amp it up a little bit better than that. So we walk right up to the enemy team as Lucio. That's really scary. Obviously, it's not as bad as Zenyatta, because Lucio is harder to kill than Zenyatta, but we still don't want to be the front line. You know what I'm saying? And now we need to be in healing mode, because we're like half HP. We switch over eventually, but it takes us quite a while. And, like, this is where it's a shame that we didn't have Amp It Up, right? Because, like, we take this damage, Amp It Up still got half the cooldown to go through, and this is where we really want to amp up the healing boost, especially since our team is engaging right now, so we'd love to be able to, like, amp it up sooner than this. We get, like, a little bit fixated on this Torbjorn turret. Like, if we just put the speed boost on, we can run into the doorway on the right side with where our team went and just blow past the Torbjorn and, like, not even have to worry about it. So, like, we don't need to be standing out here. We can just put it on speed boost and, like, run through. And our team, and, like, these two will follow you in most cases. Like, if a team sees a Lucio run forward with the speed boost when the team is engaging, they will follow you 9 times out of 10. So, even if we're going to do this, we don't really do it very well. Because here's the thing. We're playing Lucio. Lucio's weapon is a projectile weapon. It's not hit scan, it's projectile. Which means it has a travel time. What we can do, and, like, it's got a long delay between each shots. What we do is we poke out, fire, get the 3 shots out, poke back around the corner, peek back around, then we peek out again, fire the 3, peek back around the corner. Because what we do instead is we just stand out in the open getting shot. Like, if you have a projectile weapon, you can peek the corner with your projectile weapon, shoot it out, peek back down, go back around the corner, peek again, shoot, go back round, shoot again, and you take significantly less damage doing that. That's, like, how Pharah's kill turrets and things like that. Lucio can do the same thing because his weapon is also projectile. So, we don't need to just stand there, like, face-tanking the turret's damage. So, that's an example of an unnecessary boop. Like, we boop the soldier. Why do we boop the soldier? Because we're going to do, like, 25 damage to him? Oh, exciting. What we could do instead in this situation is this soldier drastically overextends, and now he's almost dead. What we can do now is we can just swing it into speed boost, run up to him, punch him in the face, and start shooting him. Because, like, look at him. He's got, like, 1 shot left on him. We could have been more aggressive there because he was the one that came out of position. We're Lucio, we don't get many opportunities to punish someone for something like this, but he is so low, we're high enough that, like, we can just run up and, like, punch this fool to death. Like, just put on the speed boost and go punch him. So, now, we amp it up just to heal Ana, bit unnecessary, and, like, this is an example of where we should be in speed boost. Like, we didn't really need to amp it up to heal this Ana, because we're not going to be doing anything in the near future, and this Ana is safe. Like, we could just be, like, healing her up ambiently over time, because, like, our whole team is dead, basically. Like, Reinhardt's still in here, but, like, we need to wait for our team to regroup a little bit before we can get anything done. So we don't need to amp it up just for Ana. But then, we're going to do this. This is where we should be in speed boost. Because, like, we're not healing ourselves right now. And, like, we're probably going into this alone. Like, we can just speed boost up to this Torbjorn. Like, we do it eventually. But, like, we could speed boost up to this guy much quicker. Then we boop him unnecessarily again. There's no need to boop right there. Because, like, what are we doing? We're doing 25 damage to him. Oh, exciting. And we push him closer to safety with that boop as well. Because, like, if we're gonna boop him, we could just, like, speed boost around this side, like, around the left side of him, do something a little bit like this, and then boop him towards our team over by the choke point, and that would be a better use of the boop. Instead, we, like, try to use it for damage, and, like, we push him closer to safety. We get him in the end, but, like, we don't want to push people to safety, we want to push them away from safety. So now we're in, we're fighting on the point, we're speed boosting around the point, great, all good stuff, nobody's really super damaged right now. Oh, fuck Reinhardt, we, like, stick around in Reinhardt's face for a little while here, like, get away from this Reinhardt, like, run away from that Reinhardt sooner. Oh shit, Boostio, woo, we got nano boosted, we're having the time of our lives, we're gonna do exactly no damage anyway, but, like, you know, that's just Lucio. But it's alright, because this fight, like, despite being one of the most scattered and, like, chaotic fights ever, it was, like, basically, like, 8 1v1s happening around the corner. Somehow it all worked out. Like, somehow it's all worked out, and now we're just basically, like, we've won the game at this point. We just have to go through, like, the rigmarole of just, like, getting everyone off of the point. We are in healing aura this entire time. Like, we don't need to be in healing aura this... Like, we're healing people at full HP right now. And that's not being very effective. There's this thing with healers, and this is kind of like what I was saying about, like, having both your orbs up and having, like, speed boost on most of the time. Is that, like, you can get a lot more efficiency out of supports than people usually do. Because it's like, if you're healing people... Like, think of Mercy, right? You see a lot of Mercy players with their healing beam on somebody at full HP. If you're playing Mercy and your healing beam is on somebody at full HP, that is the same as your beam being turned off and you not doing anything because that person's already at full HP. Same concept, like, you're better off damage boosting the person at full HP, right? Same with Lucio. If you're healing people, if you're on the healing aura, but everybody's full HP, that's the same as you not having your aura on because there's nothing to heal. So you just put it in speed boost and now you're doing something again, right? It's like that with, like, there's a thing with that with every single support where if you don't need to be healing, there's something else you can be doing that's more productive, right? Like, if you're playing Ana, you wouldn't just sit there shooting into somebody at full HP constantly, would you? No. You'd start, if everybody's at full HP, you start trying to shoot the enemy. So it's the same concept with Lucio. If you're healing people at full HP, why are you not just in speed aura? If you're playing Mercy and you're healing somebody at full HP, why don't you just have the damage beam on? If you're playing Zenyatta, why don't you have both your orbs up? They're better on somebody than on nobody, right? It's like, if you're playing a support, it's hard to carry as a support, so you have to be as efficient as you possibly can. So you want to avoid healing people at full HP. You want to be doing something else with your time. Especially Lucio, because Lucio's speed boost is so strong. So strong. So, anyway, like, the play of the game isn't at the end of this replay, which is really sad, because I like to watch the play of the game at the end of the replay. But, so this was a really short game. But the things that stood out to me the most in this game were your positioning. Like, there are a lot of times you're on Zenyatta, and you're on the front line. Lucio, like, we ran up on the front line right at the start. We run right into the enemy Reinhardt, like, real scary, like. Like, if you're playing a support, you have to position safely, because dying is really, really bad if you're a support. So, definitely work on positioning more safely. Like, you want to be in a position, like, if you're Zenyatta, you want to be able to put Discord Orb on people and your Harmony Orb on people, but that's it. As long as you can do both of those things, you are in your optimum range. You don't need to get any closer than that. So, try to stay as far away as possible. And I would advise you to do the same thing with Lucio. Lucio can be played in a way that's very aggressive, but it's very hard. So I would not advise you to do that right now. I would focus just like while you're like right now. I would focus any support you play. Just focus on positioning safely. You want to be in minimum risk. You want to be able to just support your team as much as possible. And the other biggest thing is just try to be more efficient with like your resources. Like if you are Zenyatta, make sure that you have both your orbs up as much as possible. Like if your Discord orb is not up, but like you would have to drastically overextend to put Discord on somebody, don't take it that far. Like wait for them to come to you. Don't overextend to put Discord on people, but try to have both of your orbs up as much as possible. Like Harmony orbs should be on someone 100% of the time, and Discord, as long as they like are in range, like you should have Discord on someone. So, and if you're Lucio, just like be on speed as much as possible. Like, yeah, you still have to heal people. You're still playing a healer. Healing is the #1 priority. But if you don't need to be healing people, have it in speed boost. Just be in speed boost as much as you possibly can. And I don't know if you play, like, Mercy or Ana, but it's the same thing. Don't, like, put your healing beam on people at full HP. Put the damage amp on somebody, because healing someone at full HP is the same as having no beam on someone. And Ana, like, if you don't need to heal anybody, start trying to shoot the other people. Like, you gotta be as efficient as possible when you're playing a support. And, like, this is just, like, this is just Zenyatta specific, but try to use your right-click less. The right-click is very, very selectively useful. Its main uses are trying to kill turrets. Snipers you can also do this on, but that carries more of a risk, because you have to expose yourself to the sniper. But, like, it's for, like, peeking around corners and, like, hitting turrets. Or, like, if you're tracking a Discord through a wall and you want to shoot them right as they come around the corner. Those are, like, the main uses for the right-click. Other than that, it has basically no use. You're better off just left-clicking in, like, every other circumstance. So use the right-click less as Zenyatta. Those are, like, the biggest things that stood out to me in this game. And, like, there weren't a lot of instances where you, like, there weren't basically no times in this game where you had to ult. So I don't know if your ult management is actually that good, but like the one ult I did see on Zenyatta, it was unnecessary. If you're playing Zenyatta, you need to use your ultimate to cancel the enemy team's aggression, like their own ult. You need to cancel out like their ultimates or like heavy aggression, right? Don't use it like for a graviton. Like I only had one example of you ulting in this game, so I don't know if that's like a problem or if this was just like a one-time thing, but like be careful of that as well, like if you play Zenyatta like frequently. Those are the biggest things, though. Thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. And yeah, I hope you found it helpful.